Yo guys, today I'm going to show you 5 early signs of depression that all of you need to look out for. So without further ado, let's just jump straight into it. Now just a few notes before we begin. Number 1, depression is on the rise everywhere, and I predict it's going to get much worse in the future. And number 2, one of these signs are not bad by themselves, but if you notice a continued combination of these signs together, then you need to take action and address it as soon as possible. So sign number 1 is you lose interest in everything. When you're depressed, you no longer engage in your hobbies and passions like you used to. Now you might still take part in some hobbies, but mentally and emotionally, you're no longer there. You'd rather be at home in bed sleeping or moping around. Now sign number 2, you can't cheer yourself up. Now all of us get depressed once in a while, but normally we can snap ourselves out of it with enough time. If you're depressed, this is no longer possible. You will find yourself constantly in a down mood, your emotions will be all over the place, and there'll be no motivation to address this issue. Sign number 3 is you can't function like you used to. This ties into our first 2 signs, but if you notice that you can no longer take part in your daily life like you used to, for example, go outside, meet friends, go to work, go to the shops, etc., regular stuff. If you find yourself just moping around, lying in bed all day, this is a very, very serious sign and you should take note of it. Sign number 4, you don't want to speak to anyone. Now when you're in a regular mood and you're not depressed, you don't mind speaking to people. Now I know some of you are going to say, I'm introverted, I don't want to speak to no one. And to be fair, that's a good point because I sometimes get like that as well. But if you notice this sign along with the other signs that we mentioned, it is a cause for massive concern. So just keep it in mind. And our final sign is you are constantly emotionally drained. And this really ties everything together and is probably the main symptom you need to look out for. When you're depressed, your emotions are so low and you can't do anything. As I mentioned already, you're moping around in bed all day, you can't interact with people, you have no interest in any of your hobbies or passions that you used to take part in, and you're just emotionally tired, okay? You just want to lie there and sleep all day long. If this happens one day, fine. If it happens 2 days, okay. But if it continuously happens over and over and over again, there is a serious problem that needs addressing. Now, as I mentioned at the start of this video, depression is getting much, much worse, and it's going to continue to get worse as time goes on, unfortunately. But if you notice these signs, you can take appropriate action before they become too severe. I should also mention that sometimes people can have these symptoms and still function in normal life. You might not even notice they have depression because in public they put on a persona. You might be doing this as well. But when they get home and no one's around, these symptoms start to occur. The point is, look out for these 5 symptoms in yourself and certainly look out for a combination of these symptoms. And make sure you don't ignore these symptoms because a lot of people do. They just kind of brush it aside and just get on with it. That's the wrong approach to take because if you ignore it, that depression is going to bubble up inside you and get worse and worse and worse. And one day there'll be a pop, and God knows what will happen there. So recognize the symptoms, take action to address them as soon as you do notice it, and hopefully you'll be in a much better place. Subscribe and like for more, and share this video to anyone that needs to hear it. I think more people need to speak about this subject, and more people need to recognize these symptoms. I'll speak to you guys in the next one. You take care. Peace.